Hi, this is Scott from Classic Motors Workshop. We specialize in repairs and restorations of classic, vintage and exotic cars. Join us today as we start stripping a set of SU carburetors off of a Triumph Spitfire Mark II. Boxing a set of carbs that have been sent to us from Bethlehem to be overhauled. So let's see what we've got. Well, inside they look like a set of SUs. They don't look too kosher. See, on this one, someone's already drilled out the dash top, which tells me that they've had sticking problems on this carb. Some tissue. Hopefully there's some parts in it. All right, let's get this thing out. Okay, let's have a look. See, what have we got? All right. Seems to be a little bit of play on the shafts, so we are most likely going to need a set of shafts and a set of butterflies, perhaps oversized shafts. We'll see when we get those out. The last person that worked on these really loved silicone. Not a good thing for SU carburetors. And let's check the pistons. That one doesn't feel too bad. Yep, this is the drilled out one. I suspect this one's going to be jammed. Yeah, but it's not jammed, but there's no pressure there. So it's definitely going to need a new top. And let's see. All right, so the next step is we're going to strip them. Right, I see the jet pipe has come adrift at some point. That is probably because this is sitting at a wrong angle, and I can see why it's sitting at a wrong angle is the bush is inside. Okay, so let us take the jet bits out. Right, so basically this bit that I'm taking out is normally what retains the end of the jet into the float bowl. So for those of you who are not familiar with SU carbs, how they work is a venturi through the chamber, and it draws fuel up from the float bowl up through the jet, and then depending on where the metering needle is sitting as to how much fuel is let through. So there we go, we've got that nut off. Now we've got to take the choke off the jet, and it will jump because of the springs, and remove the jet. I don't even need to look at the condition because that will be replaced. It's no point. The next part is the jet holder. Okay, so this is the adjuster with the spring. We're going to separate that off, and then we're going to take the jet holder off. You can see it's been butchered a little bit, so let's see if we can get a socket down. Someone didn't have the right size spanner and has been bashing it, so this may turn into a little bit of an exercise to get it off. Right, okay, so now we're stripping all the bits and pieces off and getting all the little screws, springs ready for cleaning. Interestingly enough, okay, so we're just going to keep going here. So these are all the accelerator and choke controls that we are taking off. A lot of them aren't on very strong. When I say strong, I mean tight. So there's lots of little lock tabs all over the place, which can be a bit of a nightmare to get off. And I've been known to put screwdrivers in my fingers and stupid things like that. I'll come back to that one in a minute. Just going to pop this one off here. And we don't worry about damaging the lock tabs too much, because in the kits, what's nice is when we get the kits from SU, they are all in there and often extras. So I have a bag of new ones lying around, and there we go. And we just put those aside. Right. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. So now I just need a 7/16 inch here. The two most commonly used spanners on most British motor cars. So now that we've taken that clip off, we can then start to strip the springs off and start separating all the parts. And it all needs to be separated, otherwise it is exceptionally difficult to clean, and it needs to be cleaned up properly. And there we go. Now I'm just going to try and it worked. So instead of damaging my fingers, we managed to actually loosen past the lock tab. Now it's going to be, the stuff should actually be sliding off. It seems to be stuck on the shaft. So perhaps I'm going to put this back in the vise just to hold it fast, and let's get a little bit of leverage. There we go, and the parts are starting to come. Lots of old fuel and grease and grime holding it all together. And now we can pull this out, which is the bolt that holds the float. And someone really loved their silicone. Okay, so the original spacer and everything that goes in from this side has all been left out, and someone has filled it with rubber. So this is going to need some serious cleaning if we do retain this body. It just goes, it will just be whether we can get the float bowls to sit fast. Now these little screws on the butterfly get opened when they get put in. Now a lot of guys, some guys like to squeeze them shut before they try and screw them out. I don't, because I don't like the thread being damaged. I'd rather squeeze them on the thread. Even though I really don't think we're going to be reusing these shafts at all. It'll tell in a few moments how badly worn the shafts are, or whether it's body worn. And there's various options how to fix this, because they are most definitely sucking in air through the sides, so making your mixture all over the place. The first option is to use standard shafts on a standard body if the wear is only on the shafts. The next option is to use an oversize, a 10,000ths of an inch oversize shaft, and then remount the body. And then the other option is to ream the body really bigger, and put brass bushes in, and then run standard shafts on the brass bushes. But we're going to see now. Okay, so that's butterfly out. And okay. All right, so as you saw by that fast motion last bit, we've finished stripping both carburetors. Unfortunately, both bodies have had the locator pins broken off. And in fact, in that last carburetor, the locator pin is still stuck inside the carburetor. So someone really did a number on these things. So the next step is I'm going to have to find another set of carburetor bodies. So join us in a later video where we will be reassembling with all new bits.